Harry Clarke was an Irish stained glass artist and book illustrator. Born in Dublin, he was a leading figure in the Irish arts and crafts movement. Early life. Henry Patrick Clarke was born the 17th of March 1889, younger son and third child of Joshua Clarke and Bridget Clarke. Church decorator Joshua Clarke moved to Dublin from Leeds in 1877 and started a decorating business, Joshua Clarke and Sons, which later incorporated a stained glass division. Through his work with his father, Clarke was exposed to many schools of art, but Art Nouveau in particular. Clarke was educated at the Model School in Marlborough Street, Dublin, and Belvedere College, which he left in 1905. He was devastated by the death of his mother in 1903, when he was only 14 years old. Clarke was then apprenticed into his father's studio, and attended evening classes in the Metropolitan College of Art and Design. The consecration of St. Mel, Bishop of Longford, by St. Patrick won the gold medal for stained glass work in the 1910 Board of Education national competition. At the art school in Dublin, Clarke met fellow artist and teacher Margaret Crilly. They married on the 31st of October 1914 and moved into a flat at 33 North Frederick Street. They had 3 children, Michael, David and Anne. Career. Book illustration. Clarke moved to London to seek work as a book illustrator, picked up by London publisher Harrop. He started with 2 commissions which were never completed: Samuel Taylor Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner and an illustrated edition of Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock. Difficulties with these projects made Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen his first printed work. In 1916, it included 16 color plates and more than 24 halftone illustrations. This was followed by an illustrations for an edition of Edgar Allan Poe's Tales of Mystery and Imagination. The first version of that title was restricted to halftone illustrations, while a second with 8 color plates and more than 24 halftone images was published in 1923. This 1923 edition made his reputation as a book illustrator. During the golden age of gift book illustration in the first quarter of the 20th century, Clarke's work can be compared to that of Aubrey Beardsley, Kay Nielsen, and Edmund Dooley. It was followed by editions of The Years at the Spring, with 12 color plates and more than 14 monotone images. Charles Perrault's Fairy Tales of Perrault, and Goethe's Faust, with 8 color plates and more than 70 halftone and duotone images. The last of these is his most famous work, prefiguring the disturbing imagery of 1960s psychedelia. 2 of his most sought-after titles are promotional booklets for Jameson Irish Whiskey, A History of a Great House, and Elixir of Life, which was written by Geoffrey Warren. His final book, Selected Poems of Algernon Charles Swinburne, was published in 1928. Stained glass. Clarke also continued to work in stained glass, producing more than 130 windows. He and his brother Walter, having taken over his father's studio after his death in 1921. His glass is distinguished by the finesse of its drawing, and his use of rich colors, and an innovative integration of the window leading as part of the overall design. Originally inspired by an early visit to see the stained glass of the Cathedral of Chartres, he was especially fond of deep blues. Clarke's use of heavy lines in his black and white book illustrations echoes his glass techniques. Clarke's stained glass work includes many religious windows, but also much secular stained glass. Highlights of the former include the windows of the Honan Chapel in University College Cork. Of the latter, a window illustrating John Keats' The Eve of St. Agnes and the Geneva window. Perhaps his most seen works were the windows he made for Bewley's Café on Dublin's Grafton Street. later years and death. Both Harry and his brother Walter were plagued with ill health, in particular problems with the lungs. Clarke was diagnosed with tuberculosis in 1929, and went to a sanatorium in Davos, Switzerland. Fearing that he would die abroad, he began his journey back to Dublin in 1931, but died on this journey on the 6th of January 1931 in Chur, where he is buried. Gallery. List of leaded glass windows. List of leaded glass windows.